Do you feel like competition kind of holds people back too? You talked about oversaturation. There is a lot of talent. There's a lot of artists as well, and because of the advent of social media and other tools like that, everybody's a rapper. Everybody's an artist. Do you
You
feel
know,
like that competition is pulling people apart? Whereas, really, if people started tugging on the same side of the rope, maybe success would come easier for folks.
um, I don't know that competition is what's holding them back as much as it is jealousy.
Okay.
Because any game is going to always have friendly competition. Anyways, I welcome competition. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because I think it's fucking fun. You know what I mean? So, uh, you can get out here and run a 100-yard dash in 10 seconds flat. When you're running it by yourself, but if you put somebody beside you and that's racing you, you might do a 9.1.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So competition, I think, is a good thing. But the jealousy, don't play his record. Don't get on that song with him. Don't book him at that show right there. I heard this about him. The backbiting or things like that. The jealousy in itself is what holds the people back more so than the competition. Because competition is great. There's so much talent. You can't help but be competitive here.
Yeah, I
You
think
know,
if people would learn to just build each other up, man, I think we can find more avenues to success, not just in this area, but any area that's having trouble being seen and heard. Like
we could. We actually could, man. Just tie in together and plug me. I plug me. I never had any problem passing information off to anybody that asked me anything about the game. I always
right.
had a motto: if you're not going to help me, just don't hurt me. I don't care if you don't help me, but don't hurt me either. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to stay there, that's fine. You got people that still just for whatever reason don't want to see you do this or don't want to give you the proper credit that you deserve.
That's right.
For things. I've had people even try to steal music from me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
What's the crazy? This is crazy,
man, it's okay to share the shine, right?
man. It is.
So
It
so
is.
tell me, man, tell me what type of songwriter are you? Is it more random for you, or does it like can you schedule writing sessions, or like is it a combination of both for that, or like how what kind of conduit are you when it comes to writing songs?
Well, me, the way I like to think, it's always the best when it's inspired. I don't like to sit down and force writing, because I'm never quite really happy with what I come up with. Even though somebody else might love it, deep down inside of me, it's like, it's
Yeah.
okay. But I like to be inspired to write. And I don't really have writing sessions because I'm a solo writer. I've written with people before, but I'm a solo artist. So I can be driving and a chorus will come through my mind. And I have to go through the glove compartment, find a receipt from Sonic to anything to write the chorus down on. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Boom, till I get home. And then I might put it in my nightstand drawer for 2 weeks. Then I go back to that chorus and write a whole song. Some days I write and finish a verse. Some days I sit down and write and can't come up with anything but a chorus. Some days I don't come up with anything at all. And then there's other days that I sit down and write a complete song before I even give up.
Mm-hmm.
Period. You know what I mean? From start to finish. Now that only happened with me throughout my career probably 4 or 5 times. Me sitting down and when I put the ink to the pad and when I take the ink away from it, the song is finished. That's a difficult thing for me to do. I hear
Mm-hmm.
people talk about doing it. I think they're doing it in a different genre. If you get my drift, because
Mm-hmm.
I do hip hop. I write all genres. Let me put that. But in writing hip hop, I'm sure you know what a 16 is
Yeah.
and what it consists of. A verse. You know what I mean? The content that's in a 16, a rap song is basically made up of 3/16s for people that don't know. Well, it used to be. Now they're getting by with 2/16s. But a standard rap song is 3/16 bar verses. I can take one 16 bar verse of mine or any rapper, and there's enough content in that one verse to break down 4 R&B songs almost. When
Yeah.
it comes to the amount of writing that you have to do to put in a verse versus hip hop to any other genre. I love my so and so. I feel all right. That right there, I can like, come on. But I say that to say this: I've written a lot of records, a lot of content through hip hop, and it taught me how to write other genres
Does
because I
that
write non
does that formula change if you're mixing genres? Like if you have some R&B within your hip hop, like if you're mixing it, does the formula change?
It doesn't. Not for me, it doesn't. It just makes it easier. It's
Yeah.
like you start out with the hardest tool in the tool shed, which is hip hop. And I started out with hip hop, and now every other genre that you writing with is like this is kind of simple. You know, the thinking is not really as in depth as I have to do with. And people might, and it's ironic that a lot of people view hip hop as a subculture that is not very welcoming to certain parts of America. If you follow my drift, and
Yeah.
like it's a lower bracket type of art form, a ghetto type of art form. But if you are into it and you really know about it, you see complexity shines probably any other genre of music ever created
Mhm.
lyrically. You know what I mean? It's like you have to be a very good writer to be a very good hip hop.
Right.
Okay writer and be George Strait though. And I love George Strait, by the way, but I'm just using him as an
Well,
example.
George
You know what I
Strait
mean?
is not a writer. He's not a writer at
He's
all.
not. Oh
No,
wow.
no,
Well,
absolutely not.
put me up so I can write for him.
Yeah, George Strait is essentially, man, I'm going to get some hate for this, but he's essentially a karaoke singer, really. Yeah,
Oh man, he
yeah.
George Strait doesn't have any exes in Texas. Is that what you telling me?
No, he didn't write that song. No,
Oh well,
he didn't write that song.
he's not
So
surprising at all to me.
yeah, so for you, the process is it typically starts with like lyrically. It starts for you lyrically most of the time, or can you like, are you or can you be presented with a beat or something like that, and then lyrically you kind of the lyrics just kind of flow in that way as well.
Well, when I started rap, to backtrack again, if I talk too much, just stop me.
No,
Hey
please,
man, why?
I want more talk, please. Yes.
Because I can get real long winded. Okay, I started rapping in the Pine Woods of East Texas is where I got my start in. And so where I was, I had never seen a producer, I had never been to a studio, I had beat custom made for me to rap over. So I was rapping over Too Short's Freaky Tales consistently. Me and my partner Reggie and my DJ Mike Bennett at the time, he had Mike had the Freaky Tales instrumental and he had the Freaky Tales on the other side by Too Short. And we had another instrumental, maybe something from Houdini. Anyway, in those two instrumentals, we would just put several songs over. We didn't have a lot of instruments. You remember you had to turn the record over for the instrument on the side back in the day.
Yep.
That's what we did. But to answer your question, I learned to write without music because I didn't have music to write to down there, and I didn't like to write over someone else rapping. I couldn't take a LL Cool J on bad and listen to it and write while he's rapping. That's not. If it was straight instrumental, I probably could have, but I seen people that could do that. I just never. It's too clangy. It's too cluttery in my mind, and I can't really work like that. So I just started writing acapella. All of my songs are written. All of my earliest songs are written acapella. So when I got to the city and got with producers and got in studios, and I started working with other artists from the DFW, Chris, I'm sitting there and they're like, okay, that's right. We have a writing session, and they would put a beat on and they would start writing to. I'm like, wow, what are y'all doing? Y'all are writing to this beat? Oh, cool. I never done it before. I'm like, okay. And when I did it, it was so freaking simple to me. I'm like, this is crazy, man.
Yeah.
What's on TV? You know what I mean? I could do whatever.
That's great.
I could just, this is what y'all doing? Y'all have the luxury of having a beat and it's on loop. You don't have to start the tape over. You can loop it and it plays it. Oh, man. I spit out an album a day like that. But what I found out was my lyrics weren't as deep and thought out as I liked them when I wrote to a beat. Because when I wrote in silence, it was just blocking out everything. I'm dealing with words. I'm dealing with definitions of words, similes, metaphors. I have a dungeon in my mind. Nothing inside of but my words. And I form them exactly like I formed them. And I want them exactly like I want them. And then I present it out of the darkness onto a piece of music. But it's all I was always presenting polished lyrics to music. On my first album, I didn't write anything in the studio. I just went there and picked out beats with tight out production. And, next one, next one. I couldn't believe it because I didn't have a notebook in the booth with me.
Hmm.
Like, you have that many songs in your head, dude? They'd
Wow.
be like, yeah, you know how big his head is, right? I'm like, yeah. But I had, you know what I mean? It was like a machine gun. It was so free to me, man, because I had so many songs remembered. You know,
So let me ask
still
you
do.
this: writing to silence. Do you think that was a product of those early times in middle school when you're just hanging out before class? Like you don't have music then, right?
Definitely.
So that's kind of the way you came up in it.
They were beatboxing then, though.
Okay.
When we did get someone was beatboxing, someone off to the side.
Right.
I'm like, okay, so that was our. we kept some beats back then. If you want to look at a beat for that purpose reason, but when I didn't have a beatboxer, when I was at home out on a country farm in the market road, and you hear anything but a wolf at night, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean, or fireflies or a whippoorwill, and you had nobody to beatbox for you, and my wheels are still turning. I had to write. I had to find
Wow.
my way. I had because the music never stopped coming. That's one thing that I've noticed since I was 13 or 14, up until this interview right here with you. The music never stops coming to my head for whatever reason. So people ask me, "Are you through rapping?" I'm like, I don't think I'll ever be through writing music. Yeah, I twist that up. They asked me, "Was I through rapping?" I said, "I don't think I'll be ever finished writing music." You know what I mean? That's
Mm-hmm.
how I answer that question because
Right.
the music is still coming. What am I going to do with it if it's continuing to come? So yeah, writing in silence definitely benefited me in a way that a lot of artists didn't get to build with their own lyrical catalog like that.